Well, it is time to start a new state-only challenge here, or states-only challenge on Madden 24. And as you can see with the list down below, more specifically for the failed, that list is getting extremely long. Madden 24 has not been kind, even Alabama, despite making it to the playoffs 3 out of 5 years, a stacked team 99s on both sides of the ball. They couldn't even get it done. And it's going to be a big change from that team to our new team, voted by you all. It was Kentucky and Indiana that won the voting, and I'm just going to coin this one the Kentiana state-only challenge, trying to just find something that was synonymous between the two states, maybe like a geographical region, something. Did not find anything, so I'm just going to combine the names. I googled Kentiana and a type of plant came up. That's all I found on it. If that means something else, definitely do let me know. But for now, we are sticking with Kentiana as our new state-only challenge. And hopefully this one will join one of the list, not the failed list down below, as we are closing in. This is one of 4 remaining state-only challenges we have left. But as we get this new challenge officially underway, there is one team of which we could use, and it is the Indianapolis Colts. Just using their uniforms, their stadium, as obviously we're going to be fantasy building this team only out of players who played at a university that was either in Kentucky or in Indiana. And as for our head coach, we'll be bringing in the bus himself, out of the NFL Hall of Fame, played at Notre Dame, Jerome Bettis. Now, Madden, we need a lot more face scans for head coaches. I've used the same 2 for pretty much every single coach we've had. This is the closest that I can get to anyone who doesn't really resemble Jerome Bettis. And hopefully he's going to provide a spark to this team that we haven't really had in at least the last one, where again, we had a lot of high-end talent on offense, but our offense, well, we watched. They didn't seem to do all too well. Hopefully Jerome Bettis will spark something underneath them and get some big plays going. Now, of course, as all of these series are for the state-only challenge, they're not played on all Madden. Since it's 98% sim, we're on all pro, because that is what Madden is best designed to run smoothly on, though sometimes you see some chaos pop up. On top of that, we will also be taking off the dynamic momentum, the home field advantage. It just makes the game a little gimmicky. We're looking for pure ratings-based gameplay. And as we start this series, we will have injuries on. Perfectly happy with those occurring as we play. But we will be turning off pre-existing injuries. That way, everyone is available to play straight from the beginning. And on top of that, we're turning off progressive fatigue. So that way, all players are playing every single game, rather than what it has been known with Madden. You get later on in the season, playoffs especially, and the best players, they're not on the field. That's not fun, so that is turned off. But as for the abilities, superstar abilities, all those are all going to be turned on. So we are still going to have that different level of player. But that is really set up, done, and it's time to get in to our drafting. Now, unlike the Alabama state-only challenge where I forgot Auburn was included, we didn't do the spinny wheel to decide what college we have to draft from first. With a lot of options here in these 2 states, we will be using that spinny wheel. Though one thing to note, at first, I was honestly really hoping that Louisville would win. But I've just already taken a quick check here, and all the top quarterbacks are gone, including Lamar Jackson. So really, we would have had no shot at getting him either way. So with that said, let's pull up the spinny wheel, spin the wheel, and let's find what college we have to draft from first. As it's going around and around, it's slowing down, and we get Western Kentucky as the winner here. Now, I believe that is one of the schools that does not have too many options for us. So as I bring up my trusty list of players, the Hilltoppers actually, if I counted correctly, have 10 players currently in the NFL, whether they're starters, future contracts, any of that, all included in this list, though obviously not including any that might be in this upcoming draft. But Of these 10, we have to choose our first 5 players from, which we will do all together, then I'll fill out the roster. But what this does mean is we're going to be missing out on some of the top end talent from some of the other schools like Notre Dame that has a whole lot of guys in the NFL. Now, of all the Hilltoppers actually in the NFL, probably one of the higher overall options for us is going to be Tyler Higbee at tight end, 6'6", 255. Though he is 30 years old, he's also 81 overall. He can be pretty solid. He got the hands, a little bit of some run blocking to his game, good catch in traffic, route running is pretty solid. Could be a decent number 1 option for us. Another option on the older side could be George Fant, an offensive tackle, 31 years old, 75 overall, and he's very much a true tackle, probably would fit more so at left. There is a younger player, though also a much lower overall, in D'Angelo Malone, an outside guy, 24 years old, labeled as a speed rusher with 71 finesse, but really it's just because there's absolutely no zone coverage there. Would be a pretty low choice for our first selection. But where the Hilltoppers seem to produce the most amount of talent is really backup quarterbacks. Bailey Zappi, one of the, again, younger options. He's a 64 overall at 24 years old. He's started in real life, mostly just because the Patriots don't know what they're doing at quarterback. The accuracies, they're okay across the board. Has a little bit of some throw power, not a whole lot of mobility. You also have a couple years older Mike White, 28 years old, 66, so a little bit better in terms of the accuracies, slightly better throw power, but less mobility. And while there are definitely other options on this list, we didn't go through all 10, some are not even available yet due to their overall. So our first pick here in the Kentiana State-Only Challenge is going to be at tight end, Tyler Higbee. Highest overall possible, and he's going to be getting a good chunk of money for a 30-year-old tight end. And while we're in the process of paying veteran players a lot of money, let's go get George Fant, secure our left tackle to protect whoever it is we have at quarterback. Now, while I was a little bit harsh on the actual ratings, we're coming back to Malone here with the 3rd selection, getting an edge rusher, and hopefully we see him get a lot of development. And with our 4th selection, let's at least lock in a quarterback, and I'm going to go for the younger Bailey Zappi. Again, he's had starting time, so has White, but he has a couple more years to develop it to just get 2 overall higher than what White is. Get a little bit more mobility, and we end up might needing that. So let's bring in Zappi. And the only other available player for us to go after here with our 5th and final selection is going to be Mike White. Double dipping here at quarterback. Maybe we still end up bringing in someone else, like maybe a Will Levis perhaps. We'll see. But that will conclude my drafting here with you. Let me fill out this roster, and I'll be back with you in like 0.2 seconds to introduce that roster. And now, after getting the roster all situated, this is what we're rocking with. A 77 rated offense, and Will Levis is indeed our quarterback. We also have Zappi, who's going to get the quarterback 2, then White. Kyron Williams is our starting running back. Then we have Benny Snell and Rodriguez Jr. to round out that group. Now, the receiving group, we're going to see probably a fairly decent rotation at Devontae Parker, Rondale Moore. They're going to be our top 2 receivers for now. We'll see how long that sticks around. Rondale Moore, more so just a slot guy, so that's where I want him playing primarily. Whenever we do spread wide, maybe we get a little bit of Will Fuller on the outside. We also have Westbrook Akine and Wan'Dale Robinson, plus we round out with Jones. Forgot his first name. Obviously at tight end, we have Higbee. Behind him, we have Smythe and Brock Wright. As for the offensive line, Fant, Saffold, Fortner, Banks, and Stanley. Stanley is our highest rated player on this team. Defensively, again, it's a 77 rated group, and it's one that will probably see some heavy turnover throughout our time in this series, with the primary guys being Bentley and Owosu Koromoa. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury in the final preseason game. We won't have him until the Week 8 trade deadline, which we'll talk about shortly. Maybe Gilman at free will be able to stick around, but I imagine everywhere else might see some change. It's a very young, undeveloped cornerback group, and the defensive line, again, there's some young guys we might be able to develop, but it's all going to depend on what they do out on the field. Now, as for our specialist, talked a little bit about the receivers, seeing that rotation. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's in line to be our slot receiver, but I do want to make sure we have Rondale Moore playing there over Robinson. Still want him to get out there, as well as Westbrook-Ikhine. But everyone else is kind of lining up as you would expect. And we're going to see what they could do immediately as we open up this season with 2 divisional games. But before we do, let's just talk real quick about this first draft class for us. And there's really nothing all too special. There's a round 1 to 2 running back in Carl Means out of Louisville. Okay, great, but I think we should be set with Kyren Williams. So we're not really looking at the running back spot there. There's also a day 3. You move along. You have some interior offensive linemen in the round 3 to 4. Get to the defensive side, a round 3 to 4 outside backer. Whether he's an edge guy or an off ball, no idea yet. There's a couple day 3 cornerbacks and then some round 1 safeties. Now, maybe these safeties end up panning out, so I'm not looking to make any trade to start today. We're gonna allow a couple weeks to go by, get to that Week 8 trade deadline. And if we've found out by then that these safeties aren't really going to help us out much, 100%, we're probably going to offload a lot of our picks from this draft class to bring in immediate talent. But to help us decide where that talent needs to be, let's jump into the first game, which just so happens to be against Lamar Jackson, a quarterback I wish we were able to have, but instead it's going to be Will Levis. See how he does against an 87 Jaguars offense, 83 defense. Meanwhile, like we saw, we're a 77 across the board. And our first AFC South game begins on offense. Now, we're going to be using the Dallas Cowboys offensive playbook, San Francisco defense. And I'm hoping we're going to rely a lot on Kyren Williams. And I'm sure if Jerome Bettis gets his way as our head coach, it will be through the running game that we move forward and hopefully see the offense come alive. First 2 plays just net 5 in total. So on a 3rd and 5, I think this is where we got to look after Higbee and maybe someone playing the slot. Devontae Parker, the veteran of the receiver group, as Will Levis' first throw in the NFL is caught. First down. Gain of 14, Westbrook-Ikhine. Now going into this one, I did make that change to have Rondale Moore play in the slot. He's also going to be still that number 2 receiver. Will Levis set the throw here again. Fires across the middle. Devontae Parker will pick up 9. Honestly, it would be great if we had, if you guys have been around since it, the Pacific Northwest Challenge. We had Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Kyren Williams breaks a tackle and picks up a first down. But I would love to see the offense perform just as it did with that Pacific Northwest Challenge. I mean, it moved. Despite not being a very highly rated team, Williams breaks another tackle and picks up yet another first. And arguably, already seeing more from Kyren Williams than we did from Josh Jacobs pretty much for the entirety of that Alabama State-only challenge. We go back to him for a 3rd straight play. He breaks another one, though he's not going to get anywhere close to the first down. Gain of 1. Now, off of all those runs, maybe look for a little bit of a play action. At least if I was calling the plays, that's what we would do, and that's what we're looking for. Levis dumps it off, first down, another completion to a new receiver, 88. That one is Rondale Moore. As we go back to a heavy set here, we do have Horvath, I believe. Can't remember his first name. Xander Horvath, the fullback. As he's not involved on that one, we go back to Rondale Moore. Well, that was one player I did not talk about at the beginning when introducing this team, but we'll see him out there a good bit. As we follow behind him and the tight ends, Rondale Moore, not much of a block. We spin off and break the tackle again. Kyren Williams, first touchdown of the Kentiana State-only challenge. And that was about just as smooth of an opening drive as we could ask for. Now, defense. What do you got for us? And to be honest, this is a group I am very worried about. As Lamar Jackson's first play lofts it, and we break it up. Try to find his tall receiver to the outside. But this defense, there's a lot of young players we're having to rely on. Several rookies, if not second-year players. And just a lot of lower overalls as he goes back to the same target, but misses. Couldn't quite tell you who that is. I want to say TJ Hawkinson. Tight end. He's on the inside of that group up top. Quick throw, down to the bottom, first down, and a little bit more. Lamar Jackson's first completion. And that is something that this defense needs to not continue to let happen. Getting the stops on first and second and giving it all up on third as we don't get the tackle in the backfield, but we get the stop at the line. Now, one positive, at least when rocking with a young group, is maybe they bring a little bit of a chip on their shoulder here. Very, again, similar to what we talked about the Pacific Northwest Challenge, as Walker will gain 1. Have ourselves another 3rd and long. Now, Bentley, who got the tackle on that last play, need him to hold down this linebacker group until we get back Owosu Moa, as Bentley gets the stop there. I swear I'm going to mess up several names. Correct me when I'm wrong. But on JOK's name, I always want to add an extra R in there for some reason. And first down, we get a penalty. Not a great way to start off. We get back 4 of those yards, 2nd and 11. We get 8. Kyron Williams, a strong start from him. In 19 goes Devontae Parker. We'll jump into a little bit, as Daniil Hunter gets the sack, we'll jump into a little bit of the red zone sim version here, as we have a 3rd and very long final play here of the first quarter. And it is knocked away, I think, or that stayed up from the last time. And it's not going to keep any of the information. Gotta love it. Thank you, Madden. We'll continue on here. 4th and 8. We punt away. So a good first drive. Not so much the second. Nearly did get them down in the end zone. They pick up a gain of 6. 14, and it is TJ Hawkinson. Thought so. They go back to him on back-to-back plays. Then Marquise Brown with 13. Saw all of them their first drive. Penalty, Connor Williams will back them up. 1st and 15. They get 11. 2nd and 4. 11 more to Marquise Brown to the 40. Now 7 more. Lamar Jackson scrambles. And he scrambles again, getting him down to the 28. First down will jump in. Knocked away by Bentley. Then 5 more goes to Wicks. 3rd and 5. They get down inside the 15. Jackson trying to lead them back to a level game here. They're at the 12. With a tight single back set, Jackson looking to throw, waiting, but here comes the hit. It's Sheldon Rankins. First sack, at least that we've watched this series. And hopefully we have a lot more of those to come. We are rocking a 4-3 defense as they hand it off. Walker right down the middle, busts open a huge lane down to the 5 for 3rd and 3. But so far that seems to be the kind of run of this defense. Get some good plays and then give up a big play. See how much that comes back to bite us, as they say touchdown. I don't think Marquise Brown ever actually held onto that ball. But unfortunately, it will not let me go back to challenge it. So it has to stand. 7-7 game on what was a dropped pass. And now if this game comes down to losing by a touchdown or even a single score, that play is going to come back to haunt us. 2nd and 3, we pick up a rush from Will Levis, getting the first down. I love the cheeky smile there. Look at that. Gotta love it. 2nd and 10, 16 yards to Rondale Moore. Gets us into plus territory as we hit the 2-minute warning. Replays the play. Already saw it. 1st and 10. Back to Moore. He picks up 4. 2nd and 6. The first down to Devontae Parker. Give me one more first down. We will jump in. That will do Williams. Oh, there was an injury while jumping in there. Didn't see who it was, but it was on the Jaguars defense. We have a 1st and 10, just over a minute left. 2 timeouts. Halfback screen up top. Williams, he shakes off another. That's going to be at least a first down. Gotta love the fight we're seeing from him. Brent Urban, another Jaguar shaken up. That's some absolute dominant play from Kyron Williams so far. Just love seeing, again, we should have had that with Jacobs. I'll take it here as Williams dives in. He gets another. At this rate, we might be seeing him get up to a superstar X Factor as long as that play continues on. Now, as we continue on here with limited time left this half, Jaguars looking to tack on some points before half. 27 yards will definitely help out, and let's finish the half here. They're at the 37. They got time for one more play despite having a timeout in their back pocket, and that is not Jackson throwing, but it's off the hands of a defensive player? I actually think it was our offense playing defense against their defense who was playing offense. I don't know what happened there. Madden shenanigans. But it ends up being a field goal for the Jaguars to carry this one into halftime, with us having a small lead 14-10. All in all, pretty happy with that first half. Though is most of that just my feelings for how Kyren Williams has started? Yeah, pretty much. Because the defense, they're not really doing anything special yet. As the Jaguars continuing to move the ball downfield here, looking to find their lead. 3rd and 3. We give up 9 to Walker just outside the red zone and now down inside the 10. Or apparently just millimeters outside of the 10. It's not 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 at the 10. As Jackson looking to throw, going up top, finds their tight end, a gain of 5. We'll say both teams spreading the ball out pretty well. But this Jaguars team, they have a lot of very highly talented players on this offense as Walker does not get in. Great tackle there, number 26, the corner in Eccles. I want to say he's either another rookie or maybe 2nd, 3rd year player. But it does bring up a 3rd and 3. Walker down the middle, fighting but going nowhere. Unfortunately, Julian Aquara shaken up on the play. And luckily doesn't appear to be a major injury. He heads to the bench. Jaguars set to make this a 1-point ball game here as the field goal is good. Oh, I do have to give the defense a little bit of some credit. They've bent a lot, but they haven't broken that much. As speaking of offense, we got 3rd and 7, Westbrook Akine with the first down. They're moving really well. We go back to him. He picks up another good chunk, and Will Levis runs. Offense, they're running pretty smoothly here. And I'm really liking seeing it as we're well down close to the red zone. They say at the 20, that's good enough for me. But what is not quite good enough for me is how a 77 rated offense is honestly outperforming the 89 offense we had with the Bama challenge. That is absolutely crazy, as I believe that one goes to Higbee. Should take us to the 4th quarter. 14-13. It's a great rivalry game to get the season started and to get this series started. But what would just make it even better would be a 3rd touchdown here from Kyren Williams. It's 2nd and 2. We hand it off to Williams down the middle. He's going to pick up at least the 1st down, make it goal to go at the 9. And I would have to check the depth here, just the roster in total for the Jaguars defense. But if we're doing this against what was a decently rated defense, I think our offense might be good to go this season. And if anything, maybe we do a trade for the defense just to bring in some help for defensive line, maybe the secondary, as Levis throws the pick. The first interception for the rookie was intended for Parker. Throw that a little bit more to the right-hand side and you have the touchdown. Instead, Caden Ellis gets the pick. Jaguars offense, they head out still looking to take a lead in this game, as they do pick up the 1st down. 8 yards go to Jackson. 3, Walker. I do like that combination, though, for their backfield. And a penalty on Hawkinson. We'll definitely back him up. 1st and 20. Then we give a penalty right back. 8 yards and a free set of downs. 3 yards to Walker. 2nd and 7. They get 5. 3rd and short. They get 7 to DJ Moore, the other Moore. 5 going back to Wicks. They definitely spread the ball around, and that is what is an integral part as McFadden knocks the ball away. 4th and 2 at midfield. 4 minutes, 14 seconds left. I imagine they go for it. But I would be wrong. They would actually punt, banking on their defense to get the stop. Well, let's choose some clock while we're out here. Williams will pick up 2. We'll say the Jaguars defense they've tightened it up this second half. Not as much running room for Kyren Williams as we go to play action off of him. Will Levis checks it down and misses his target. I'll leave that one intended for Smythe. We'll be 3rd and 8. We got trips up top, tight end at the bottom. Will Levis back in shotgun. He will throw across the middle, and there's Kyron. Shakes one, not gonna get away from the second. But that's a big jump up to midfield. And in total, I believe that puts him over 100 yards on the day, including running and receiving. 2 stacked to the top, 2 more down to the bottom. Will Levis, play action, throw across the middle. He's got his guy, not gonna break away, but nearly did, was Rondale Moore. Chewing up a lot of clock as well. We don't have to snap the ball before the 2-minute warning. We will see if we do. Levis lets it hit. 2 minutes left. We're up 1 point, and we're knocking on the door. Let's just not have the same mistake as last time. At the 29. Honestly, we could just run the clock. We don't need any more scores, though I would like it. As we get 1, timeout starting to be called by the Jags. 2 stacked down the bottom, 1 up top, sitting back in shotgun. Hand it off, Williams, space down the middle. Will be 3rd and inches, empty set wide. Please tell me quarterback dive or draw. No, throw, up top, Williams, that works. 1st down at the 13. Not gonna lie, that play call scared me, but it's all right. 1st and 10. We go back, read option, and we don't get the block from Higbee, but Will Levis holds on to it. Gain of 6. Final timeout called. Just run the ball. Sitting in pistol, Williams bounces off of 1 down to not the 1. The 2 is the spotting. Though it would have done better for a rhyme there. Not even really a rhyme, just saying the same thing. But it's the victory formation out. 1st and goal. Levis will kneel us to victory in week 1. And it was, to be honest, a very surprising win here today. I was coming in not expecting a whole lot from this team. But that kind of performance, great. 14-13 doesn't look crazy, but the defense, they outperformed expectation. And Kyron Williams, absolutely fantastic. Will Levis just cleaned things up a little bit. And we got ourselves an offense. And following that game, I want to jump immediately into a quarter sim here. See how well we do, but first quarter ends 7-0, and if I'm not mistaken, it looked like the Texans were driving for a second. Though we hold it, turn it over, drive down the field, get a touchdown, and halftime hit 7-7. Okay, I will take that. Let's get through the 3rd quarter here. As we drive, take the lead. Texans, they look like they were driving. Let's slow things down a little bit here. Jump in a little bit closer, and how about we jump and actually finish this drive, though it's a 3rd and 8. So pause 1 second if the defense gets the stop here, which they do. All right, so that will be instead a 1st and goal. They went for it on 4th down with Jalen Hurts. And there I was thinking that we were about to get the ball back. Instead, 1st and goal, 14-7. I was looking at the 4. They hand it off down the middle, and that's a very quick score from J.K. Dobbins. Not the best down the middle there from our defense. Well, that leaves us a little over 6.5 minutes left in this one to retake a lead, and we start 16 yards Devontae Parker. That'll definitely do. 2 yards go Kyron Williams. 2nd and 8. We pick up 5 to Will Fuller. 3rd and 3. Thrown away just shy of midfield. Now this is a great opportunity to show you when I actually play a little bit here. With key decisions, I want to see a zig route there from Moore. Fuller pull everyone to the inside. That should open things for Moore. Didn't quite, but it worked out enough. 1st down. If that ball was thrown any second later, split second later, that's a knockaway turnover on downs. Will Fuller, he then picks up 15. 9 to Parker. Give me a 1st down. We'll jump back in. Thrown away. 3rd and 1. 21 yards down to the 4. Tyler Higbee. Well, let's just knock this one into the end zone, or as we come out in empty, let's throw it into the end zone. Trips up top, rests down to the bottom. Will Fuller, they bring the blitz in. I don't know if that was a quarterback draw or if he just immediately felt the pressure and had to run. Either way, it's a loss of some yardage. Make it 2nd and goal at the 11. As we go with a read option, and he splits the defense. Great block downfield. Will Levis cannot be contained. we scramble back in front against the Texans. Now we just need our defense to hold on to this lead. 21-14 knocked away by Eccles. I want to say I said he was a rookie or second year. I'm not exactly quite sure on that. Definitely on the younger side. Penalty on Becton will back him up. 2nd and 15, 2. 3rd and 13, 12. I imagine they go for it here, though they are backed up. What do they got here for us? A punt. We take over, 2.5 minutes left. Now this is a great opportunity to just hand it on over to Kyren Williams. Let him go to work behind the offensive line. Good pulls out in front. We pick up 5, though not a good day rushing from Williams. 9 rushes, 25 yards. So we've seemingly got the job done more so through the air today as we hit the 2-minute warning. Texans are desperate for a stop here. As they are down a touchdown, they have all their timeouts, so do we. Williams down the middle, beaten, picked up, slammed down, 3rd and 3, first timeout called. It's a heavy formation here, I form. Go back to Kyren, big blocks. That's an easy scramble for the first down into plus territory at the 43. 1 timeout remains for the Texans. As we go back to Kyren, follow the blocks, and another solid gain of 8. He just keeps falling forward. And that, with a first down here, should do it. Back to Kyren. We pick up the blocks, and there he goes, scrambling all the way down to the 4. Well, maybe we've got a little bit of time left in this one. For a touchdown, though, no. Again, we're taking the gentlemanly way, taking knees in front of the end zone. Will Levis will eventually take that knee, and we start 2-0. Now I need you to be honest. Let me know down below, did you expect this team to come in and start the way that they have? 2 solid performances. Offense, they've made plays when they've needed to have it. Defense has done exactly the same. Blue collar play out here. And if you were impressed with a 2-0 record, how about 3-0? As we would tack on one more win here against Baltimore. Another close battle, 31-28. But again, the guys getting the job done when they have to do it. Though unfortunately, do have to say, after this game, we would see our first humbling experience. The Rams would destroy us. 42-24. And in that one, there was only 1 turnover. So it's not even like that was a big problem. Rushing yards, we were under 100. Overall, though, I've got to be really impressed with how this team has started. 3-1. And I'm pretty sure that's good enough to be first in the AFC South. And I can confirm that that is true. The Jaguars 2-2. We got to win on them. We got to win on the Texans. And I'm pretty sure we will start next episode against the Tennessee Titans and then another quick matchup against the Jaguars. We'll get that series out of the way early on this season. But as we wrap up today, I want to take a quick look at the stats. Number 10 offense, not too bad. Defense 23rd, we could definitely see that rise. So we're a top 10 offense, bottom 10 defense. Honestly, I still think that's pretty solid. Will Levis, he's had some turnover problems, but he's also been pretty accurate. 70% completion. He's just under 1,000 yards. Again, we just need him tune it up a little bit, and I think we'll be solid. Running-wise, Kyren Williams averaging 5 yards a carry, already has 4 touchdowns. That's a touchdown a game so far. Will Levis had that beautiful scramble for the touchdown. Not even scramble, I think it was a read option. Benny Snell's even ran one in. Receiving-wise, Rondale Moore does lead the team, though Devontae Parker not too far behind. He leads us in touchdown receptions with 3. Higbee has 2. And then we're getting a lot of other people the ball, so that is good to see. Getting to the defensive side, Bentley leads us in tackles with 33. Tackles for a loss, that is Sheldon Rankins with 3, with a decent amount spread out there. How about sacks? Just 2. Sheldon Rankins. We need more there from our edge rushers then. No interceptions this season. How about any forced fumbles? No. How's kicking doing? 100% for Aubrey. I don't think I talked about our kicker and punter. Brandon Aubrey as well as Tyler Newsome, both out of Notre Dame. Well, that will conclude the start of the Kentiana State-Only Challenge. I'm sure I'm going to mess that up several times. We'll be back next time to finish off the regular season of Season 1. And if we continue on the same pace we've started, it's looking like a playoff year. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Again, let me know what you think about the start of this series. I mean, I'm really impressed. Just need to tune some things up. Again, we've talked about that, but very impressed. This series out every single Wednesday and Saturday, though. We also have the Panthers traditional franchise. That one out every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you guys got content basically every single day. So make sure you stick around, hit that bell icon on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the sub button. They both do the exact same thing. And if you tap that bell icon, you'll be notified of when these videos go live. Great start. Can we keep it up? We'll find out next time as we start off once again with 2 straight divisional games.
How it's supposed to feel.